Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Capture Skater Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our good friend Matt. We're here to break down Faceless and the family, his current Zoop campaign, and everything in between. Matt, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I had a chance to look at this, and holy crap, the interiors of this thing are gorgeous. You are not only the writer, but the letterer and the illustrator and everything in between on this project. I cannot wait to dive into this. But before we do that, I like to start simple and kind of just start with an introduction to who you are and how you got into comics.
It's really not an original story. You've probably heard it 100 times from other artists, but I'm basically the artist archetype, I guess, because grew up, comics were always there. I was always a fan of comics, and I had it in the back of my head from an early age, like, this is something I'm at least going to attempt it. I'm just not sure how to go about it, or, I just didn't take it serious until after high school. But throughout school, I was the doodling kid in the background with his head down. Like in math class, I would just be, I remember it was 11th grade. Every day I'd come in, it was first period, and I had this binder. And after a certain point, it was so complicated to me and I was so bored with it that I just gave up. And I don't know how I passed, but every day I'd be at my desk, and there was like 3 or 4 kids around me, and they'd say, "Oh, today draw this." It'll be like, they would basically create a character in a scenario, and then the whole period I'd be drawing that, and by the end I'd show it, and
that's so cool.
They would love when I did that. So, but yeah, after maybe a year or so after high school, that's when I started. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to college because that's just the whole thing. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe this is a crazy thing to say, but I feel like everyone kind of has their thing. Like they kind of have their shot, or maybe they don't realize what their shot is, or again, this is an ignorant thing to say, but
no, I think it's making perfect sense.
My shot was always, I'm the artist. If I try at this, it's not a guarantee by any means, but if I invest the years trying to get better at this and pursuing it in a serious way, this is my shot. Because other than this, I don't have anything. I'm not that smart. I have no other.
Should have paid attention in math class.
Yeah, I can't even pay attention unless I'm drawing. And I'm like, all right, I need to actually try this. So at first it was I was just trying to be a penciler, and which has kind of gone away at this point. Like that's not really, for the most part, you kind of have to ink yourself now. But luckily I was doing that kind of from the beginning, so I was already honing that skill too. But yeah, from the beginning it was just, I know, I'm gonna just try to be a penciler from Marvel or DC, because that's all I knew comics to be at that point. And I still want to do that. But after years of trying that and collaborating with writers, doing pitches, like we'd do these 5 to 7 page beginnings of a comic and send them to publishers and get no response, or no, keep going though. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would just keep doing that, and then at a certain point, it just clicked in my head, like, why don't I just start writing and doing my own thing? Like, and just self-publish it, do it myself, and eventually the mentality switched from me like begging these titans of comics, and they're these big castles, and you don't even know where to get in. You don't even know where the front door is. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just build my own castle? I don't know if it's going to be good, but I'm going to try. Like, it's something different because I'm repeatedly doing the same thing essentially, and it's getting me nowhere. It's not, and that's insanity. So
I love how it all started with kids sitting around you telling you what to draw, because that's like such a unique like exercise, right? Because you never know what you're drawing next. You have to stay on your toes and you have to adapt, and how that just led to everything. And you know, when we were talking earlier, I think it is that shot you were explaining is like, you know, when you have it, you know, like that's what you want, and you just hyper focus on it so strongly. And so many people don't get that, you know, so many people don't achieve that level. So I think the fact that you took that and just ran with it is awesome. Like, because going to college, like that's almost like you go to school for like what, 12 years, and then who wants to go to school for another 4? That's like when you retire. When you retire, like, hey, like, give me another 4 years down the street. Like, let's do this. No, that is so awesome though. So you have some comics though that have ended up on Dark Horse though, right?
Yeah. The first one, yeah, let me get a little sip. Yeah, the first one I did was, it actually came out after, basically I did one called The Freak, and that was picked up by Ad House Books, who's a smaller indie publisher, and that was my first published work.
That's
and
so
then,
awesome.
Yeah, and then from that, that worked out, and so I'm like, all right, yeah, because it was, like I said, once I started just doing my own thing, that wasn't getting any traction either, really, but I'm like, this feels right. It feels like I'm onto something, and each book, I can tell I'm improving. Like, being objective, I can tell this is a path that's making sense. Like, the other path, sometimes you wouldn't even get a response. So like you're just sending off this package, or you're emailing, or maybe you'd get a response from an editor and they'd be like, all right, this is kind of cool, but you're not there yet. You need to work on this, you need to work on that. And then maybe 6 months goes by and you try to resubmit and that editor's gone.
Oh.
So now you don't know how to get in that castle anymore.
Whole nother set of things they want you to do differently too, I bet.
Yeah, and they don't even know you. They might not be into your work, your style. They don't know the progress. It's like, hey, you might not remember me. And they're like, I don't even know who you are. So, but anyway, the point is, yeah, so I kept doing my own thing, did The Freak, expecting the same thing. I'm expecting no one's gonna, but I guess I'm kind of crazy and I'm still doing this. So you have to be a little crazy, because just for years, you're repeatedly being told, no, you're not good at this, stop. Or you're getting that message in some way. But you have to kind of believe, like, no, I think I've got it. Like, I think if I just keep going, this is going to work out, I think. This isn't a complete waste of my life, you know.
So how was that experience going from just being an artist to the writer as well? Because I know that's a, you know, and not only that, but like doing it in a comic format, like that, it seems like it'd be such a different transition from just like drawing on a piece of paper surrounded by your peers to actually making it like sequential art.
Yeah. Funny you say that, because in the very, very beginning, when I was trying, you know, you look up like advice or what are they looking for, and I would constantly see them say, this is going to sound crazy now, but they would say, it's all about storytelling. It's all about storytelling. And I didn't know what that meant. Like, I knew you needed panels, and, you know, obviously I read comics, so I get comics to an extent, but they kept saying, you know, you can't just do pinups, you have to be able to tell a story. And I'm like, well, I'm doing that, but it took a while for that to actually make sense to me. Like, now looking back, I get it, but I just remember reading that all the time. It would be a repeated
yeah.
thing, and I'm just like, I don't get what they're talking about. Like it's just not.
What more do you want from me?
Yeah, I'm drawing comics. Like, this is storytelling, right? I don't know, but oh yeah. Also, I want to say when I was in like 5th grade, aside from the drawing thing, I would be doing some writing. I would kind of just write my own little stories, like made up characters, and it might be, 10 pages of just some nonsense. But so I had a little bit of confidence with it. I'm like, oh, I've done this before to an extent. And then also in school, when they tell you, write an essay or write a story. So I had a little bit of something. Like, this isn't completely foreign to me. So when I had that mindset shift, I kind of remembered that, and I'm like, why don't I just, I'll start small. And that's what worked. I'm like, all right, just do 3 pages. Don't overwhelm yourself with this, you got to do a whole issue or a whole. That's the thing that's always kind of surprised me about newer artists. You always hear about, they've got this big epic already. I've had to kind of build to that. Like, this new book that I'm doing now, this is the biggest thing yet, not only in length of pages, but the story itself and the world. It's always grown. But I don't know how these people are always, from the beginning, they've got this big epic. There's these worlds of people, and there's going to be a war. There are these different themes. There's a B plot, A plot. Like, how do you have all this? It doesn't mean it's good, but they have something in mind for me. So for me, I'm just like, let me just do 3 pages. Let me see if I can handle that, because let's say this thing that I want does happen, and some publishers like, yeah, do a story. I need to be able to do it. No one's there to hold your hand and do it for you. You need to actually do it, and hopefully it's good.
Yeah, so, I think what you were just saying a few seconds ago, the difference between your 3 pages and their whole epic is whether or not theirs is going to be good. And you need, when you're pitching that, like, it has to be good, right? Like, you could have everything planned out to the whole nines, but if it's not impactful, you're just wasting paper at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was like just kind of training wheels. Let me start here. And then once I did the 3 pages, it just showed like, all right, I could do that. I kind of feel like there's more to this story. And then that became a 1-shot. And then I just kept doing 1-shots. So I didn't want to do anything that I didn't think I could handle. And I just kept doing that until it grew and grew and grew. So that's my advice to anybody who's trying to write for themselves or do their own comics. Like, just start small. Like, that's with anything, don't look at the big picture. Like, I have to do all this. Like, just look at step by step. All right, all I have to do is just this little bit here, then move to the next bit. And, you'll get more and more comfortable, because even back in the beginning when I was doing those submissions, you do 3 to 5 pages maybe, and each page felt like a marathon. Like, it felt like I just climbed Everest. It's like, I have to do another page. Like, I don't know if I can handle this, but I can't let anyone know that, because, again, I want to be hired, so I have to pretend like I'm a master of this. So yeah, start small, build those skills, get comfortable, get better, and just,
it's wild that you have like the manga like illustrators able to pump out like 20 pages a week. I mean, they have assistants and everything, but like just the fact that they're able to do that, and like there's a big controversy because they're not getting paid well for it too, and it's wild, right? Like them just to keep pumping it out left and right, man. But so with Faceless in the family, like, this is such an, I don't even know how to explain it. The artwork is just so mesmerizing, and like when I look at it, I'm trying to see like what would be like. I love trying to find like the starting point, because like there's so much detail that just like radiates off this page. Like what came first with this? Was it the art or the story?
Actually, the first thing was the world, because I was writing another story maybe a year before I started this one, and that this world just popped in my head, but it didn't fit that story, so I set it aside and decided, oh, this is too good to just, float into the ether with the other bad ideas. So let me save this. So that was the first thing. And then when I was coming up with the story for Faceless, eventually I remembered the hand planet, and it was perfect. Like these two go together perfectly, the characters, the world. So yeah, the imagination aspect and me just, dreaming up these ideas, that always comes first for me. And I'm trying to visualize everything. Like if I can't see it, then I can't make it. I think some people, maybe they can, I don't know how their minds are working, but maybe they can think up an idea and it sounds good on paper, and then they're able to create it as they go. But for me, I need to fully, maybe not crystal clear, but I need to kind of have an idea in my head. So for me, it's all about the ideas. And
that hand planet is so cool looking too. We'll show everyone when we scroll through the Zoop campaign, but like it is so, I just love how it's like this with like the rings and everything. Man, that is such a cool design. So a little bit about the Faceless. Let me scroll up here. It's a sci-fi post-apocalyptic journey where a strange and lovable group of misfits form a family. And as you guys can see on the interiors to the left of us, this is such a unique design. I'm curious for inspirations on both ends of it for your writing and your art. Let's start with the art, because that is like just so, I love it, man. I've never seen anything like this. Thanks.
Well, actually the story, it actually sparked from this movie I was watching, believe it or not. It's called The Invitation, from, I think it's 2015. And it's basically a group of old friends. They meet in this house for like a dinner party, and they're just catching up, and it kind of goes left from there. Like there's like a cult, and it's not what it seems. But just from that, the idea popped in my head after I was done with it. I thought the movie was brilliant, and I'm like, oh, what if I did a story? Like it just popped in my head. A group of misfits form a family. Like what if it's, from the beginning, it was just, it was a lot more simple. I didn't see the hand planet yet. I just saw a desert, and it would be the house that they do meet in the first issue. It would just be this random house in the middle of nowhere, and these different people who are kind of outcasts or misfits in some way. They're not a part of regular society. They're just sort of traveling and looking for their own each individual things, and they all happen to meet up in this house, and then they're kind of working through their problems there. And the whole comic was going to be just in the house, and I was going to kind of go about it that way. Like it would be a challenge. What if this is all the comic is? It's just people in a house, unique characters, but there's not this big epic thing. But it kind of developed into that, because like, you know what? There's going to be like 10 people who care about this. I need to make this more than what it is. So like, I don't know, maybe one day I could pull that off, but yeah.
Man, more than 10 people care about this. For this being your first campaign of this nature, 224 supporters. Holy crap, Matt. Congratulations on that. How does it feel to be running a campaign for the first time?
Super nervous going into it. Like I just had no clue, because I've never done it. And then, yeah, I was just blown away. Like it, I mean, Yeah, I even cried a little bit. Like, it got a little bit emotional yesterday when it was finally, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so quickly it just hit a certain milestone. I'm just like, wow, like, because I've been working on this so long, putting everything into it, and you just don't know, like, is this just gonna fail? Does anyone care? And so the fact that it's crossed that finish line, I could kind of exhale a little bit. Finally.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this isn't a complete waste. And
So,
yeah.
for everyone watching, right here is the link to the Zoop campaign. If you're unable to back this, it is New Comic Book Day. Treat yourself to a new book. But if you're unable to back it, simply sharing this on Facebook and Twitter, word of mouth is 100% free, and getting as many eyes on this is going to just lead to more and more of a successful campaign. So let's go ahead. I think with that would be the perfect segue. Let's pull up the Zoop campaign and check it out and see what all the hype is about. So we are looking at Faceless and the Family, a sci-fi post-apocalyptic journey where a strange and lovable group of misfits form a family. $20,222 of a $12,000 goal. Holy crap. And literally, has it been 24 hours?
Yeah, but not by much.
Yeah, it's literally been just a day. Holy crap, that is awesome, man. This is, and you just unlocked your first stretch goal. Are you allowed to announce that yet, or?
Yeah, it's basically now we're gonna have the book's gonna be bigger and better, 16 new pages, and it's gonna have there's gonna be a concept art, character designs, thumbnails. I've got 3 or 4 pages from an earlier version of this that I started from like over a year ago. Those are going to be in there. Maybe the script for some of it. So yeah, it's going to be bonus material, kind of like in a DVD when you used to get the behind the scenes and like extra stuff. Like, it's going to have that. So
give us a little bit about this character design. I was saying this nonstop. This is such a unique design. But this character in particular, this I love just everything, the design leading up to the helmet and the piping coming off the back. Like that what's going on with this character? This looks so interesting.
Thanks. Speaking of the character designs, you're going to see in there that it didn't start this way. Like he looked kind of ordinary. Like he had just sort of a basic mask, and there was definitely some weirdness to him, but it didn't look anything like this. It kind of developed into that. But so this main character, Faceless, now stick with me here. This might be a little convoluted, but basically his backstory is when he was 18 or so, let's say, he disappeared from society, and they think he's been kidnapped. They think he died, he left home, who knows what, but really he was there the whole time. He joined a hidden underground gang called the Carpal Tunnel Gang, because it's in the Pan planet.
I love it.
The reason he did that was he didn't know how to be himself. So he became something else. But soon after that, he realized, oh God, I'm in a gang. This isn't good either. This is bad. I need to leave. But the gang threatens, the leaders threaten the members. If you leave, we're going to kill your family. So he sent them, his family, an anonymous letter saying, hey, leave. We don't know what the letter actually says, but that's pretty much what it says. And Faceless himself, he hides in the mouth of a fallen statue amongst the plumbing of the world. Like, he's just in the pipes. That's where he's hiding. So for a decade, he's just living there. He's unable to be free because now they're looking for him. And he just sneaks out for food and then comes back at night. Like he's just sneaking around and doing that. But eventually, after a decade, he decides, I'm done with this. Like, whatever. If they catch me, I'll go down with a fight. I know how to fight. They train me.
Yeah.
So, but I just got the idea. I already knew he'd have a mask because, just a disguise. But then I got the idea. I was just sitting around thinking about it one day, and I'm like, oh, what if he just used one of the pipes as his helmet / mask? And then I just started designing, just started doing these different sketches. And then half of it is that mixed with, I'm just making an excuse to draw cool characters, Spoiler, that's kind of half of what comics is. Like, you're forming a story, but like, I'm having to draw this whole thing, so it's like, why not make it, more of what I want it to be, make it something that I'm into.
Yeah.
So like, you'd have this crazy tubing coming out of the pipes too on the back, and you could do all crazy things with that. And so eventually it formed into what you see there.
So is Faceless, like the name, a metaphor for anything? The concept and the backstory seems like it's really deep. So I'm curious, is the name like have any special meaning behind it?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of, he kind of goes into it in the beginning. Like it's the idea that he's always been hiding. Like there's always, he's not being himself. He's not, and the face kind of represents you. So like in the beginning, he doesn't know how to be himself. So he joins the gang. So he's hiding beneath the gang, but then he's hiding underground. Now he's leaving, he's hiding under a pipe. He's never really, so the whole idea is, or the whole objective, the thing that he's looking for is to get a new face, because in his mind, if I just fix this, I'll be set. That'll fix all my problems. I can go back to my family who thinks I'm dead. The gang won't know it's me. And it'll just be a clean slate. But yeah, so it's kind of, I guess it's got like multiple meanings in it. And it goes more in depth as it goes on, but yeah.
We of course don't need to spoil anything. I thank you for sharing that. I love just what you gave us. So let's check out some of these rewards while we're here. So we can get the digital copy of this for 15. You have an early bird special for 25. So that's the soft cover. This would be ending probably tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, probably around 11 a.m.
So you guys still have a decent amount of time to jump in on this special. You get a signed copy in the first 48 hours as well at $40, and then the remarked at 70. So what's the remark edition include?
That's basically, it'll be signed, and it'll have kind of like a head / like from the shoulders up, a sketch in each copy. So
that's really cool. That's awesome.
Custom little sketch.
And then we have a physical copy of issue 1 at $10. We have the variant at $12, and I love this variant, just like the subtle like colors in it. Yeah. You get both covers at $20, the soft cover and issue 1 at $35. And then you get a big oversized quality art print of the Hanging Planet, and this thing is gorgeous. I love this design. We'll see a little bit larger of an image down below when we scroll. And then the Everything Bundle early bird special at $95, and then a retail bundle at $75. So awesome, man. And then these add-ons are so awesome too. The 3D printed of Faceless, and then this poster is just gorgeous, man.
Yeah. Then you've also got the that's a free reward right there for the $0. It's if anyone's interested in the original art from the book, that is essentially, that reward is, it's like a ticket to another live YouTube event where we're going to be showing off the pages that I drew, and then you'll be able to purchase through that.
Oh, that's so cool. If you want to, feel free to shout it out where people can find the link or the YouTube channel.
Well, it's just it's going to be that reward. You just add that to your cart, the $0 one. So when you buy the book, you need to buy one of the it's an add-on. So
yeah,
you need to buy something from the top, and then you can add that to your cart. It's free, and then Zoop will give your email to my art rep, Inky Knuckles, and he'll have the he'll give you the invite of when it is, where it is. That'll have the link. Yeah.
That's really cool. I've never seen this done before. So this is the first time I've ever seen anything done like that, and I really like the idea of like it being like a ticket Like that's a really cool thing to do. I've done this. You are interview 203, and I've gone over probably 100 and I would say 70 campaigns just to be safe. And I've never seen this done once. So what was some of the inspiration behind this?
For the reward thing?
Yeah, the ticket.
It's actually it's not my idea. It's it was done to my knowledge one other time through another Zoop campaign. Nick Patera. Him and his art rep, they did the same thing. Like, so yeah, we basically just got it from that.
That's still pretty cool.
It worked. It was, it's a cool idea. So shout out to him.
Yeah, I've seen people, they would, sell original pages, but I've never seen anything where it's like a live show and like somewhat of like an auction like that. That's really cool. 42 claimed already, so it's a popular idea too. And then here we have the Freak remarked and Crimson Flower remarked as well. So these are previous works. Mm-hmm. Were you the artist and writer for these as well?
I'm the artist and writer for the Freak, and then Crimson Flower, I'm just the artist on that one.
Oh, okay, I got you. And then I see Matt right there. He gave you a pull quote up above. Let's go ahead and read that. So Matt L's work is the most original stuff I've seen in comics in years. Singular voice and talent right out of the gate. Once in a generation talent. Waiting for the rest of the industry to catch up with him. And unbelievable work. And after going through these interiors, man, they are gorgeous. Holy crap. And then here are the unavailable tiers. Some artwork it looks like. Man, this art is just so gorgeous. I love this the helmet, like the close-up of the face and then the reflection of the gang like in the mask.
Yeah, it kind of plays into the thing I was talking about before, where it's like he's behind the mask and the gang is like keeping him in, like it's almost like a prison behind it. Like he's having to hide behind that because of the gang. So that's kind of the idea.
So let's go ahead and check out this trailer. Just to let you know, you won't be able to hear the audio on your end, but we're going to be able to hear it loud and clear on ours.
Okay.
So just to let you know that.
This fall comes a new 5-part epic in comic book form. From the Eisner-nominated creator Matt Lesniewski, A Chronicle of Pain. A tale of discomfort. One of isolation and ostracism. A story about struggle.
Yeah, I just love how like the art like bleeds into other panels like that too. Like it's so awesome, sorrow. Man.
Yet through it all, it's what unites them. 4 misfits, 1 family. Now available on Zoop. Faceless and the Family.
So if I heard correctly, you have 5 parts to this coming out?
Yeah, it's one collected like graphic novel. So 5 chapters.
Okay, I got you.
120 pages of the main story.
I gotcha. And then right here is some of the preview of the interiors and the covers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys can see, these are a little bit larger for you to kind of see some more of that detailing. But even hold on one second. Sorry about that. I live on kind of a popular highway, so whenever there's police, they make sure to drive by my house in particular. They're like, "Oh, he must be in an interview. Let's go."
Gonna wake you up.
So here's the previews and some of these interiors, and this design is just so gorgeous. I love like how like just in depth this detailing gets with this, like the underground pipes and everything. And man, this world. So for what are some of the techniques that you used within this art? It's just like I said, I've never really seen anything like designs like this.
Well, as far as what I'm using, I pretty much just use the Micron pens. It's a pretty standard basic tool. You can find it at Michael's or any art supply, you know. But as far as technique, I don't know. What should I say? I never really describe it. I just kind of do it. That's why it's tough for me to. I mean, I'm using a lot of different textures and lighting. It's basically developed into this over time. Like one of the other rewards was the freak, and in that one, I wasn't doing any of this yet. Like it was just mostly kind of like a Jeff Darrow type thing, where it was all shapes and just sort of like the outline of things for the most part. It was just almost like The Simpsons. Like it's just without the color. It's just, you know, because I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I didn't know, especially lighting and shadows. I could never really figure that out. And it just took time to even try that. So and part of what I like to do is switch up the textures and different levels of darkness. Like in that page on the left there, that character's name, her name is Carp. She's got the overalls. That's one texture, and then the hair. That's another texture. Then the shirt, that's another texture, and that's part of that is. I just don't want to get bored, so I'm doing different techniques to like keep myself interested. But also, I like to work in a way where, just in case a colorist isn't involved, or if they are involved, I'm not relying on them. It's whatever I did, it's good enough. It's going to stand on its own, and if a colorist comes in, they're going to add to what I did. So for a scenario like this, that's perfect because it's black and white.
I think the black and white adds a lot of weight to it too, because when a colorist, you could, a lot of times the colorist adds, a lot of highlights and details, but like for you to pack it in there on so many different levels. You were talking earlier about how you want to be able to see it and dream it, and like, that's probably the best way I can describe it. It feels like this is straight out of a dream like world almost. I've been like trying to figure out how I wanted to describe this for so long, but that I think is like the perfect. It feels like I'm in one big dream world. Like with these character designs, like this guy, like I love just how much of a contrast he is to Faceless. Like his design, like his face is open, he's huge. I just love these character designs in this world so much.
Thanks. Yeah, I took a while to think of, like, it started with, I'm pretty sure it started with just thinking of, like, what they'd be looking for and what, kind of what they're lacking or what makes them, what makes them, less than perfect, I guess. So it was more, I'm pretty sure it was more description based in the beginning, and then I was thinking of what visually would match that, or like what just what would make sense. So a lot, basically, I guess my point is a lot went into creating the characters themselves. Like it took some time to get that down.
And then right here is a larger image of the hand planet. And I know we were talking about this earlier too, but I love the design of this so much. How like each finger has its own ring. This one looks like it's maybe like a nuclear powered ring, like with the small clouds coming off of it. And how like the cityscapes like on the fingertips and everything. Man, this is a cool, and it's funny how you were working on something else and this is what sprang from that, but then like you had to utilize it. And I see why. I've never seen a planet done up like this too. Like this whole entire book is just like a dream state, man. It's like so much like unique designs and just environments, like the whole entire world, like up in here, like how we were talking about this too, the panels, like how this like pipes like bleeds into these other panels and everything. I just love this design so much. How long would you say it took you from start to finish?
Oh, well, I'm actually not done. I started this version of it the beginning of this year, and I pretty much just started issue 4, so it's basically I'm spending 2 to 3 days a page on average. So
oh, it's detailed. You can tell it is detailed. And then here are some of the commission examples as well. And I'm loving how that style, you could see that the style from this book just bleeding into these as well. Like like the squiggly pipelines, and then with Galactus right here with all the squiggly lines around him and the piping. It's such a unique thing. Is this going to be like kind of your style going forward?
I don't know. I mean, as I've been doing it, it's been taking so long that I like doing it, but the dilemma is like, I'm liking what this is looking like, but I'm not putting a lot out there, because I'm just taking forever to work on it. So if I could maybe reinvent my style into something simple and that I'm still happy with, and I could just kind of pump out pages, then I could get more ideas out there. So it's kind of, that would be the trade-off, but I don't know. I mean, then again, the next book, it's like, all right, it's going to take a long time, but I kind of think of it, what I'm doing here, it's kind of like, it's like a home-cooked meal. Like I'm breaking out the recipe book. I'm getting out all the ingredients. I'm using different textures. I'm taking a long time baking it in the oven. It's gonna take a while, but you're gonna like this feast I'm laying out. Whereas,
absolutely,
if I was whipping it up quickly, you might not appreciate it as much. I don't know.
And speaking of feast, this is we've gone through the Zoop campaign in its entirety. So after going through that, what would you like to say to anyone who might be on the fence about backing? If you had just one moment to just speak to them directly.
Speak to those folks.
Just do it.
What would I say to them? I mean, you don't have to. Like, don't. If you can't support it, I understand. I get it. Like, that's totally cool. But maybe you could help me by spreading the word. Like that goes a long way. But if you're on the fence and you've got the money in your pocket, but you're like, I don't know. What would I say to them? I don't know. I'm not the convincing type. I put the work. I try to put all my energy into the actual work, and then like if that's not enough, and this is just me doing these interviews, that's me just letting people know it exists. You know what? I'm not gonna try to convince you because I can't change people's minds. It's like, look at the pages. If that's your thing, cool. If not, that's fine too. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I think that's probably one of the most realist answers that we've had on the show, and I can appreciate that a ton. I mean, I think the amount of work and energy and effort that you put into this speaks volumes about it in itself. But yeah, I put so much into it that it's like, if that's not enough, it's not enough. Like, what more do you want from me? Yeah, seriously. So with us, taking a look at this, breaking it down as in-depth as humanly possible, I always love ending the show on a strong note, and that is with a small piece of advice, because as much as this is a podcast where I'd like to promote you and your book, it's also a nice platform for anyone who might be new to the industry, or maybe they're seasoned but they're having trouble just getting started. So with that being said, for anyone who's having issues just getting started with their project, whether it's the writing or the art or anything in between, what advice would you have for them to help them just get going? I would say if they're having trouble getting going, just for one thing is like, keep in mind that I know it's tough. It definitely is. It's never not been tough. Like it's still, that's not going to go away, but just remember that you want to be doing this. Like, remember that it's supposed to be fun, and the reason we're doing this is because we love it and it's supposed to be this fun thing. Like, I feel like people lose sight of that so easily, and I get why, because there's just so much minutia and drama and how do I do this? How do I do that? just remember you want to be doing this. This is fun. Make it fun for yourself. Like whatever it takes, you know, do your own thing. You know, don't chase the trend or what you think is going to work or what you think is going to be good, because people can kind of sense that. Be yourself. Do the thing that you want to make. Have fun with it. And, you know, and kind of like what I was saying earlier, like start small. Don't look at the big. Another thing, don't ever compare yourself. Like, I know that's cliche, but I kind of think of it like, for like a real artist or a true artist, there's only one slot for you, and it's your own slot. So meaning the only thing you could do is fulfill your own potential. You're not competing with anyone. It's not about that. Like, again, it probably sounds corny, but the only competition is you. Like, just try to be better than you were before. It's not about being better than another artist. Doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. You're just in your own lane doing your own thing. Like, it's just different. It's not better. So yeah, I don't know.
Holy crap, that was powerful, man. I like that. That needs to be like on a t-shirt or, you know, some sort of poster. I like that, because that's a big thing with everything, right? Like, even podcasters, you know, a lot of the times, like, you know, we'll view each other as competition, when in reality, my audience is the same audience that their audience is. And if we work together, we would both have a bigger audience. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And the only person I'm working against is myself. Like, when I'm like, oh, you know, I wish I was bigger. I wish, you know, the only way I'm going to get bigger is if I get out there and I work towards it, right? Like, stop putting myself in that mentality. That's awesome, man. I appreciate that. That was really good.
Put those blinders on and just run your own thing. Like it's not about, you know, it's not about I need to be better than them, or they're better than me, or they're not better. They're just their own thing.
You just gotta find your potential.
That's hard to see, or that's hard to realize, but to me, that's the truth about it. Like, there's only one slot for you, and if you develop into what you actually are, that's how you're gonna really thrive. It's not about, you know, competition.
No, I think that was awesome. Thank you so much, Matt, for not only that awesome piece of advice, but coming on, breaking down Faceless and the family and everything in between. Everyone watching, this is New Comic Book Day. Be sure to check it out here. Right here is the link for you to back. If you're unable to back, simply liking and retweeting it will go a long way. I hope you all have an awesome Wednesday, but most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.